discuss about business and ethics. Good ethics is good business. Bad ethics can derail even the best strategic plans. Business ethics, how do we define business ethics? It is defined as the principles of conduct within the organization that guide decision making and behavior. Good business ethics is a prerequisite for good strategic management. Good ethics is just good business. A rising tide of consciousness about importance of business ethics is sweeping not only US but also the rest of the world. Strategists such as CEOs and business owners are the individuals primarily responsible for ensuring high ethical principles are espoused and practiced in an organization. All strategy formulation, implementation, and event evaluation decisions have ethical ramifications. Newspapers and business magazines daily report legal and moral breaches of ethical conduct by both public and private organizations. Being unethical is expensive. For example, some of the largest payouts for class action legal fraud suits happened against Enron, WorldCom, Time Warner. Again, if you really see, other business actions considered unethical included misleading advertising or labeling, causing environmental harm, poor product or service safety, padding expense account, insider trading, dumping banned or flawed products in foreign markets, not providing equal opportunity for women and minorities, overpricing, moving job overseas, and sexual harassment. So, a new wave of ethics issues related to product safety, employment health, sexual harassment, AIDS, and the workplace, smoking, acid rain, affirmative action, waste disposal, foreign business practices, cover ups, takeover tactics, conflict of interest, employee privacy, and inappropriate gifts and security of the company records has accentuated the need for strategists to develop a clear code of business ethics. Internet fraud, hacking into company computers, spreading viruses, identity theft, are other unethical activities that have plagued every sector of the online commerce. Merely having a code of ethics, however, is not sufficient to ensure ethical business behavior. A code of ethics can be viewed as a public relation gimmick, a set of platitudes or window dressing. To ensure that the code is read, understood, believed, and remembered, periodic ethics workshops are needed to sensitize people to workplace circumstances in which ethics, ethical issues may rise. If employees see examples of punishment for violating the code as well as rewards for uploading the code, this reinforces the importance of firm's code of ethics. An ethics culture needs to permeate all organizations. To help create an ethics culture, Citicorp developed a business ethics board game that is played by thousands of employees worldwide. Now, ethical training programs are being organized, which include messages from the CEO or owner of the business, emphasizing ethical business practices, development and discussion of code of ethics and procedures for discussing and reporting unethical behavior. Firms can align ethical and strategic decision making, by incorporating ethical considerations into the long term planning, by integrating ethical decision making into performance appraisal process, by encouraging whistleblowing or reporting of unethical practices, and by monitoring departmental and corporate performance regarding ethical issues. So, now when we talk about ethics in the corporate sector, one of the very issue that arises is why do companies indulge in misconduct or misgovernance? So, such as lying, accepting bribery, coercion, conflicting interests. The primary reason being, now when we look at bribes as such, what is bribe defined as? Bribery is defined by the Black's Law Dictionary as offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting of any item of value to influence the actions of an official or other person in charge of public or legal duty. A bribe is a gift bestowed to influence the recipient's conduct. The gift may be any money, good, right in action, property, preferment, privilege, emolument, object of value, advantage, or merely a promise of undertaking to induce or influence the action, vote, or influence of a person in an official or public capacity. Bribery is a crime in most of the countries of the world. So what are the reasons behind it? One is balancing work or life, family, poor leadership, poor internal communication, lack of management support, and need to meet organization goals. And this is where corporate governance kicks in. What is corporate governance? Corporate governance deals with the problems that result from separation of ownership and control. It focuses on internal structure, the rules of the board of directors, creation of independent audit committees, rules for disclosure of information to shareholders and creditors, and control of management. Now, let us understand this. When we say corporate governance, basically it is actually saying that if there is a company which has small shareholders, they have equal right to information as the large shareholders. They have a right to govern the internal structure. They have a right to actually express their view through whom? Through the board of directors. And they have a right to create audit committee. They have a right to actually have information via the audit committee as to what is happening in the company in which they have invested. This right is given by the corporate governance norms. As per the OECD, corporate governance will a company is set to practice corporate governance only and only when it gives rights to the shareholders. It provides equitable treatment of shareholders. That means no matter how large a shareholder is, how small a shareholder is, they are treated at par. The stakeholders have a major important role in the corporate governance as such. The company is liable to answer for all the queries that the shareholder might pose, as well as the shareholder has the right to fix the responsibility of running the company in a proper manner on the board of directors. Why is there has been an impetus for growth of corporate governance in India? One is definitely the competition. Competition is heavily driving the growth of corporate governance. There are new players which have come in. That is because of globalization, new players have come into the industry and they are fostering this growth of corporate governance in India. Along with this, there is a phenomenal growth on the market capitalization as such, market capitalization of the industry players. There are foreign portfolio investors who want greater accountability because they have interest, they have financial interest in the firm. There is media influences because media actually plays a role of influencer in terms of awakening of the consciousness of the public as well as in demanding transparency disclosure from the companies as such. There is influence of banks and financial institutions. That is, the banks and financial institutions which invest in the companies also require the transparency and disclosure from the firms. Of course, there is a heavy realization in the Indian corporate towards the benefits of corporate governance or adherence to corporate governance norms. Why? Because this actually plays a key role in leveraging the brand to secure funds not only from the financial institutions but also from venture capitalists, angel investors, etc. What is the future of corporate governance in India? India has a long way to go actually to be ranked as the best in the world in corporate governance norms. There are a lot of lacuna in different aspects of corporate governance, poor bankruptcy laws and procedures. The Indian accounting standards actually do not mandate consolidation. Indian stock markets till today run inefficiently, and the Indian bond market is still in the infancy stage. So, what is still serving as an impetus for growth of corporate governance in India? One is the competition. Second, definitely, having discussed the impetus for growth earlier, one point which actually makes its mark is the full capital account convertibility. Full capital account convertibility means that the rupee is fully convertible to the foreign exchange, whether it's dollar, euro, Singapore dollar, any. And this can only kick in when there are good corporate